What's up, everybody? I am the Pop Culture Junkie, and today we're going to be discussing the 2018 Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, only on the WWE Network. That's right, this is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view where Raw and SmackDown superstars will compete in the same ring in ladder matches for the opportunity of winning a briefcase that inside has a contract for a guaranteed world or universal title match. Now, the show is going to feature a women's ladder match and a men's ladder match. There will be 4 superstars from both shows in each match. So you got 4 Raw guys against 4 SmackDown guys. Then you have another match with 4 women from SmackDown and 4 women from Raw, and they will all compete for the contract and opportunity of winning a, or at least getting a shot at a title, because there's no guarantee. Even if you win the ladder match and you have the contract, there's no guarantee when you cash in that you will successfully win the title, because unfortunately there's been 3 different times that people have cashed in and not been successful in winning their title matches. So nothing is guaranteed. So we're going to take a look at the card now. It is a stacked card, okay? Money in the Bank for the last several years, since it became its own standalone pay-per-view, used to be, of course, it was a match held at WrestleMania for a few years, but then later on became its own standalone pay-per-view. For the most part, it's been a standalone pay-per-view with a few matches, and then they have the Money in the Bank match. This card this year is super stacked. There's 10 matches. That's a lot of matches for this kind of show. It seems like they're trying to make this one of the new big ones to go along with Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania, of course. So this could be basically like replacing what King of the Ring was. King of the Ring was meant to be the number 5 of the big pay-per-views, which we haven't had a King of the Ring pay-per-view since 2002. But it seems like that's the direction they're going with as far as Money in the Bank, which I'm totally fine with. I think we need to have more big-time pay-per-views and fewer of the small ones, you know, maybe. And they've already cut down on pay-per-views. They did that already, saying we're going to cut back on some pay-per-views. Also, they already cut it down to where they put everyone on the same show. Of course, everyone's seen that music video. We can best of both worlds. Oh, so horrible. Can't stand that music video. But on this card, it's interesting to note, we've got 10 matches. We have a world title match. We have 2 ladder matches. We have tag title matches, intercontinental title matches. We do not have a universal title match, obviously, because Brock Lesnar is not defending the title till at least SummerSlam, which is bizarre. They keep bragging about him being the, quote, longest reigning holder of a universal and or world title in the last 30 years, whatever that means. Okay, it's a title that's been around for, what, 2.5 years, and it's been held by, what, 4 guys, I think, at most. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the card. Let's go through the matches, and I'll share with you my thoughts and predictions on who will possibly win. So starting off, we have, on the kickoff show, they've announced the Bludgeon Brothers will defend the tag titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I don't see Anderson and Gallows winning the titles here. I think they should win the titles eventually and have a good run, but I think Gallows and Anderson would do a lot better if they would finally join up with Styles or go back to Raw and join up with Balor or something. They need to go back to doing where they were almost going to do something like the Bullet Club and make them into a stable. They need something like that. But I'm going with Bludgeon Brothers. They've hardly been on the show. I don't even remember the last time they defended the titles, so it's been a while. I think, yeah, they need to keep the titles for quite a while more. So Bludgeon Brothers, I'm going to go with, they're going to be getting the victory here. All right, the next match we have Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. It's very disappointing in how Daniel Bryan had been out for so many years, injured, unable to compete, and when they finally bring him back in, he gets an amazing performance at WrestleMania and the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then he's going to be put into a feud with Big Cass. Really? They couldn't go with anything else? They couldn't think of anything else for this? This is ridiculous. My money's going to be on Daniel Bryan. He's going to make him tap out. He's going to make Big Cass tap out. Then we have WWE Intercontinental title match, Seth Rollins versus Elias. This is one of the main matches I am really looking forward to. These guys are super over. They both can go in the ring. They're both very talented on the mic. The characters that they both have are excellent. So I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I would like to see Rollins continue being Intercontinental Champion because I think he's got a good chance of being one of the best all-time Intercontinental Champions. However, Elias would be the perfect heel Intercontinental Champion, and I think he would be the perfect one to hold that title and break Honky Tonk Man's record. I want to see that happen. It's funny to think it's a similar concept because they're both the entertainer characters. Like Honky Tonk Man was the Elvis impersonator, of course. Elias, he plays the guitar and such. But it's like, I would really love to see Elias wearing that Intercontinental title, doing his "Hello, I am Elias" gimmick every time Raw starts. That'd be amazing to see. And I think he would be a great heel champ, and they need to have him break that record. That'd be awesome. They also really seem to be interested in record announcements. So hey, just like they announced the whole Brock Lesnar holding the Universal title for 400 plus days, whatever. There you go. Let Elias break the record and beat the 65-week championship reign that Honky Tonk Man had. Okay, next we have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. This feud is boring me. It's been nothing but ridiculous segments on Raw every week. I don't know why they don't have Bobby Lashley just dominating jobbers and getting him over that way. Instead, they're putting him in these horrible segments with Sami Zayn that Sami Zayn is carrying, and Sami Zayn is awesome, but Bobby Lashley is horrible on the mic. He was horrible back in the mid-2000s when he was in WWE and ECW and all that stuff. He's not good on the mic. He's got a great look, and he can go in the ring, obviously. Okay, he is very athletic and very talented in that aspect, but he does not have the charisma or mic skills to get himself over, so he needs somebody like Sami Zayn to be the talker of the feud. I think Lashley, he kind of needs to go the Goldberg route, where you just come in and just, I mean, his shirt says dominating, all right, or dominate or whatever. Do that. Just come into the matches and dominate and get yourself over that way. But yeah, it's sad to say Sami Zayn's going to lose this one. I mean, they're not going to bring Bobby Lashley back and have him lose his first real feud, so obviously, I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley would be getting the win here. So next we have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I was really hoping that since they announced that they were going to have a match this past week on Raw, that they were going to postpone or cancel the one for this show, because we already had so many matches announced. I thought, hey, maybe they need to bump a match from the card, because they have like 10 matches. They need to make some space to make sure they have enough time for all these matches, maybe, right? No, we're going to get the match this Sunday. It's going to be Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to win, of course, so going with Roman Reigns, and you all know my feelings on that. We have the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Carmella defending the title against Asuka. Carmella has done a great job, and I'm a big fan of the way she has been champion, but I want Asuka to win that title. I want Asuka to be the women's champion and hold that title for a good while. That they could have the women's ladder match take place before this match does, and therefore there's a chance that the winner could try to cash in on the same night and maybe add themselves to the match and make it a triple threat. Also, there's a chance that what happened this past week on SmackDown was more of a red herring, where Asuka got to be a part of the 10 women's tag match, and she won the match by making Carmella tap out. That usually means, okay, she got to get one up on the champion on the show where the title wasn't in jeopardy, but at the main match now, it's going to be, we're going to have Asuka lose by disqualification or count out. I don't think they're going to let Carmella pin or submit Asuka. So I'm actually going to say I think it's going to come down to a disqualification or a count out, and Carmella's going to retain the title, and then Asuka's going to get another shot later on, something like that. So I'm picking it's going to be Asuka with the win, but it's going to be via count out or disqualification. Either Carmella's going to run out and get counted out, or somebody's going to interfere and cost Asuka the match. So then on Raw, we have Nia Jax defending the women's title against Ronda Rousey. This feud is so weird. Nia Jax is the champion, and she challenged Ronda at the time when Nia was already turning face because of being bullied by Alexa Bliss. But now she's become the bully, making fun of Ronda. And so now Nia's back to being a heel, I guess. And the whole gimmick of, you can't get the armbar on me, Ronda. And yet on Raw, she got it on her in no time at all. And Nia tapped out. I thought that was ridiculous. And the bell rang. That was weird, too. She taps out. Ronda makes Nia tap, and they rang the bell like it was a match almost. So yeah, I think it's still ridiculous that Ronda Rousey is going straight into her first singles match, and it's for the title. That's ridiculous, even though she came out in the contract signing segment at Elimination Chamber and said, I don't want to come in here and just have things handed to me. I want to earn my way. And it made it sound like, she's going to show up at least every pay-per-view and have some matches to, beat some people first to get some credibility. I thought, she's going to have a feud with Mickie James and Sasha and Bayley and so forth and get some wins over, credible opponents. And then she'll challenge whoever's the champion at the time. But no, she had her mixed tag match at WrestleMania, teaming with Angle against Triple H and Stephanie. And now she's going right into a world title match at Money in the Bank just a little over a month and a half, 2 months later. Ridiculous, crazy. So my pick for this one is I think it's going to be Ronda Rousey winning because I think they want to get a title belt on her as soon as possible to get more publicity and, you know, get the name of WWE out there saying, oh, look, we've got a former UFC champ. Now she's got one of our titles. Woohoo. There's always the possibility that Natalya could interfere and cause some kind of distraction, or maybe she tries to help Ronda and then accidentally cost her the match or gets her disqualified, something like that. But I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey getting the win here and making Nia tap out. So next up, we have the WWE Championship match, last man standing match. AJ Styles defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. This feud, as much as I wanted to see these guys have amazing 5-star matches that I know they can deliver, they really have not given these guys the opportunity that they should get to really put on what kind of show they can do. I'm hoping they'll get a lot more time and a lot more opportunity at this show, so hopefully the match is going to be amazing. I don't really care for last man standing matches that much because you're sitting there waiting for them to count to 10 over and over and over, and I'd rather them have just done a ladder match, a steel cage, a Hell in a Cell, something else, not a last man standing match. You know what? Last man standing matches, they're just, to me, a extended hardcore / street fight / no DQ match, etc. Because anything goes. You just have to keep your opponent on the ground or on the mat for a 10 count. So really, it's like once they're down, just lay on them and pin them, and you win the match. But we had to wait for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. So I'm going with AJ Styles, though. I'd like to see Shinsuke win and get a title run, but I want AJ Styles to keep that belt for a while. So I'm picking AJ Styles for this. So then we go into the top 2 matches that the whole card is about. So first off, we have the women's Money in the Bank Contract Championship ladder match. And we have Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. So I've been up and down about whether or not this match is going to do well or not. Okay, not to take anything away from the women involved, but last year's Money in the Bank ladder match with the women was not entertaining to me at all. It just did not work. It fell flat. There was nothing really impressive or wow about it. And then the way they ended it with Ellsworth helping Carmella win, that was even worse. They did the match 2 days later on SmackDown to try to, you know, erase what they did that they didn't realize was gonna backfire, and it did. But yeah, even the one they did on SmackDown 2 days later, it did not impress me. So I'm very skeptical about what's gonna happen this weekend. However, I gotta say, I was really impressed with the Fatal 4-Way match that was on Raw this past week. That match was great, okay? So if that's the kind of action and intensity that they're going to bring into this match, I'm very excited. However, of course, the SmackDown 10 women tag match was not as great. So it's kind of, you know, 50-50 chance of this being a great match or so-so, or who knows what else could happen. But the top people that actually should win would be Becky Lynch and Lana. Okay, here's my reasons. Charlotte Flair should never win titles with a cash-in. She is a legit champion, okay? She should challenge for the title every time. She should not be a cash-in kind of winner. Ember Moon, I think she's too new to the roster as far as the main roster. She just was the NXT champion for a while, but I think she needs a little more time. I think she should also challenge, not just contract. Sasha Banks, she doesn't need it. Naomi, no, she's not going to do that, no. Natalya, I don't want to see her cashing in the contract either. Honestly, I think Lana would be the best story to tell, but all around, I think Becky Lynch has really been pushed to the back burner so many times that she deserves a lot more credit than they have been giving her lately. That's why I would go with Becky Lynch. But I think all around, it's going to be Lana. Lana, I think, has the best story to tell by winning the contract. And last but not least, we have the men's Money in the Bank contract ladder match. Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Rusev versus Bobby Roode versus Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe and versus one of the members of the New Day. It could either be Kofi Kingston, Big E, or Xavier Woods. I have a feeling they're going to probably go with Big E. I think that'd be the best choice to go with. Kofi Kingston's been in a number of ladder matches, of course, and he's been in a ton of the Money in the Bank matches because he usually has really cool spot moments in each match, but that's all he's there for. It's not like he's going to win the actual contract. Xavier Woods, he's a mid-carder at best, so I don't see him ever winning the contract or a title like that. So I would go with Big E. So breaking down the competitors that are in this match, Braun Strowman, I don't see him winning this match, even though he's probably going to have some big monster moments in there. Finn Balor, I doubt it. Rusev and Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe are my top picks. I think The Miz might win if they decide to go with the actual Daniel Bryan storyline, where maybe Miz will get the briefcase, cash in and win the title, and then Miz will challenge him by SummerSlam or Survivor Series, and we'll finally get the Miz Daniel Bryan match that we were teased with a couple years ago when they did the Talking Smack promos and so forth. Of course, I think Rusev would be a great choice to win, and you have Lana and Rusev both with the briefcases. You'd have your first ever Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. It'd be a funny, interesting story to tell. Samoa Joe, as much as I don't think he needs the contract, I just wish he would finally get a world title run, because he should have won the Universal title already when he was on Raw. Kevin Owens now, that's who I want to win on Raw. If it's Raw, I want Kevin Owens, because he's the top guy. He's one of their top guys that they need as their champion. But let's put it this way, okay? Let's look at it really close. The superstars that are on Raw, if they win, the contract gives them a shot at the Universal title. The winners on SmackDown, they get a shot at the WWE title. AJ Styles is the WWE champion, and if Nakamura happens to win, he'll be the champion, okay? But guess what? Those two guys are on SmackDown every week, which means at any time, every Tuesday, there could be a cash-in, and we might get a chance at seeing a title change. Brock Lesnar shows up like 4 times to 5 times a year, so if Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, or Kevin Owens were to win the contract, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have to go into the 24/7 hardcore title mode, where one of these guys, if they win the contract, they're going to literally have to drive out to Minnesota or Canada or wherever Brock's living now and do like a, Falls Count Anywhere on his ranch match just to get the title. I mean, there's no chance that they're going to ever get to cash it in, because Brock never shows up. When he does show up, he's not going to do much, and it's like, are they really going to waste the big title run that he's had and have him lose by a cash-in? I doubt it. More than likely, it's going to be a SmackDown star. And so for my final pick, I'm going to go with Rusev. Rusev and Lana. There you go. Let's see if they win the contracts. That's my picks. All right, so there we have it. Those are my predictions for the matches. As always, I posted on Twitter. If anyone wants to send in a question or get a shout-out, do so, and I did receive quite a few questions, so here we go. First off, we have Samantha asking, who would benefit most from winning the briefcase? As far as who would benefit the most, I think it would be Rusev, because he's had his ups and downs where they've made him more of a jobber at times, and I don't think anyone takes him as serious as they used to. He used to be a very credible United States champion and pretty threatening, and it kind of watered him down with all the stuff that they did with Ziggler and later on. But I think Rusev is the one that's got the most to gain from getting a briefcase. The other one would be, of course, Lana would be my other pick, as well as Becky Lynch. But Lana, I think Lana would benefit the most, because when Lana left and then came back as the dancer gimmick, which really haven't seen her doing the dancing stuff, but no one took her serious. Nobody gave her any credibility for it. She didn't win any matches, of course, even though she got like 2 or 3 title matches against Naomi right when she first came back. Was kind of crazy. She lost them all very quickly. She was, a jobber basically. So I think if you want to ever take Lana seriously, I think she needs to win the briefcase. But at the same time, Becky Lynch, she was the first SmackDown Women's Champion when they gave SmackDown their own women's title belt. And what has she done lately? Or what did they let her do lately? Not much. And she can do a lot. She can talk. She can wrestle. Let her be a champ. She should be a champ. She should have a few title reigns already, considering you look at Charlotte, Sasha, how many times they've held belts and keep losing them. Becky should have a couple of those already. Josh Floberg asks, what match do you see stealing the show, and which one will be the bathroom break match? Well, for me, the Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, that's going to be my bathroom break, definitely. What match do I think will steal the show? I wouldn't doubt it's going to be Seth Rollins and Elias. I think those guys could definitely put on the match of the night. I want to see a good match out of AJ Styles and Nakamura, but with the way their last few matches have been, I'm very skeptical on how good it's going to be. I know it can be awesome, but we'll see what happens. But for my money, I'll say Seth Rollins and Elias could definitely put on the match of the night. Bryce Hall asks, best Money in the Bank match of all time in your opinion? In my opinion, I still think the original one, the very first one that Edge won, was probably the best one. Now, I also have to say the one in 2009 at WrestleMania 25, where CM Punk won for the second year in a row, was also really awesome, but that's because I got to see that one live in person at WrestleMania here in Houston. That one was a great match as well. So I'd have to say those are my top two. One, because I got to see it in person. The other one, just watching it on the show on pay-per-view was amazing. So those would be my top two there. And then Still Blondie asked, do you think there will be any big interferences in any of the matches? Well, I'm pretty sure that during the Jinder Mahal Roman Reigns match, I'm sure the Singh brother is going to interfere. Maybe the other one comes back. I don't know if the other one's injured still or not, but I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a distraction just having him at ringside. But as far as a big interference, I would be very surprised if we see Dean Ambrose make a return and interfere in the Seth Rollins-Elias match, maybe even cost Seth Rollins the title, and they start a feud up like they were supposed to do anyways, and have Rollins be the face this time and Dean Ambrose is a heel. I would love to see Dean Ambrose come back as a heel when he does make his return. So I think that would be a really interesting surprised interference and return to see would be Dean Ambrose. All right, guys and gals. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the questions you sent in. Hope everyone enjoys the show this weekend, and tune in this weekend. If you haven't already followed me on Twitter, I'll be live tweeting during the entire show. I think they announced it's going to be like a 6-hour, 7-hour show. Who knows? I mean, they got 10 matches to do, and they're probably going to have a pre-show, kickoff show, something else thrown in there as well. We don't have a United States title defense from Jeff Hardy, and we don't have a Raw tag team title match announced either. So we still have a couple of title matches that should be added here to make it a full card, as well as the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, but of course he's not going to be there. So it's very interesting that we have 10 matches. We're still missing a few titles from being in there. And, of course, the one that they push as the, quote, main champion, even though it's only the Universal title, not the WWE title, that person is MIA. It's just bizarre. Well, everyone that's going to be watching, I hope you enjoy it. Remember, check me out on Twitter, Pop Culture Junk 2, and you'll see me live tweeting. Share with me your thoughts and opinions on the show as we're watching it. Hope everyone enjoys the show. I'll see you next time. This is Pop Culture Junkie, signing out.